your party before venturing forth.
Oh, that's a good meatball. Let's see. What did oh, who gives a shit? Okay. Let's run back down to, well, right there to the keep. I cleared out the front home. I did this last time. Yeah, might as well. You know there's gonna be some in here. Just discharge over. Quick heal. And throw a heal back to my wizard buddy.
Mow it.
Yeah, here. Let's work on this.
You're not getting through me. For Anthony.
These knights were, they're kind of like, I guess, in 40k how the dreadnoughts
You're not getting
were,
through me.
where it's like their souls of, yeah, whatever. Well, 40k is souls of fallen warriors. This, I think, just any old soul would do, trapped into this knight's armor. Just seems like a bad idea, and it, you know, seems to be working out that way.
Hey.
Alright. Oh, Lord. Boys didn't go up into the war room, or what? Okay, so... yeah. See what's going on over here in the temple. Nothing? Okay. Anybody in here? I know there's gonna be some in the forge. Oh, we got some in here probably too right now. Okay. Yeah, I knew that was coming. So, it's obviously not gonna work.
Lava will be on seek.
Well.
What?
Okay. And let's throw another one of those just for old time's sakes. That's good. Forge Knight. That one. Alright, we certainly need somebody to deal with the guy. Let's do another missile. Yeah. Okay. Obviously attack.
Leave it!
Okay.
You're not...
No, yeah.
Leave it to me!
Oh, for good grief. Okay,
Of course.
well. Yeah. Alright, let me go talk to this jackass again then. Double time it up there. Okay.
1 minute. My justiciars were training the Forge Knights. In the next, they were being cut to pieces. But the survivors owe their lives to your skill. You fought valiantly, worthy of any seasoned soldier. In fact, I'm naming you an honorary justiciar. I'll send word to Fleetbreaker Castle immediately. We clearly didn't understand the Forge Knights as well as we thought. For now, we'll have to continue recruiting the old-fashioned way. I'm glad you agree with my assessment of the situation. And if I'd listened to Dunstan, none of this would have happened in the first place. I won't make that mistake again.
Got the old Winds of Steel going for us that time. Alright.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Hey.
trying to build up some troops to help me out. I mean, I guess we can go try that, and also I can just save it first. And, you know, if it goes to hell, well.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Double time. I got a cat on my shoulder too, so that's good luck for battle, I've heard. The old cat on the shoulder trick. One day, 16 hours for the walls. Looking pretty good. There, yeah, I mean the towers, not the walls. Let's go see what's shaking. Okay. Alright, let's go to Inwood. Let's march. As you crest a small hill overlooking Inwood Field, Lord Gathfin's army is a flurry of activity, scurrying to and fro. Even from this distance, you can hear the drums of war beating their steady cadence, designed to intimidate their foes while organizing the rank and file into battle formations. Marshal Forward approaches. You've arrived just in time. Lord Gathfin's forces are beginning to move in. An attack is imminent. Suspect my forces. Local militia constitutes the majority of the army, but veteran soldiers have organized the ranks and walk amongst the young, unseasoned warriors, offering advice and an occasional joke. They cheer, striking sword to shield as you pass in thunderous approval of their lord. Among the troops, a small group of warriors shine brighter than others. Crucible knights, standing tall in gleaming plate armor and armed with spear and shield. They stand at attention, spear centered as you pass. Any idea what Gathfin's planning? Marshal Forward strokes his chin. His ultimate objective is to face you in battle, to be seen defeating you. I doubt he is foolish enough to challenge you to single combat, of course. Sound the horn, Marshal Forward. It's time to finish this. Forward begins barking orders and your troops quickly form up. Gathfin's army follows suit as Erdrin's war drum echoes across the field. Within a few moments, the Marshal raises a brass horn and the visage of a mighty boar to his lips. He looks at you expectantly. For Caed Noir. Found with his shield as Marshal horn sounds. Dozens of bowstrings twang in unison behind you as archers unleash a hail of arrows at Gathfin's army. The missiles hiss through the air with deadly accuracy, failing scores of enemies. Bold move, Gathfin points his sword towards your position, giving Erdhard order. His infantry shield raised, charge the field. Infantry charges headlong to the enemy infantry in the center of the field. The cacophonous sound of metal on metal is nearly deafening as the two forces collide. The fighting is fierce in the screams of the dying Nimrus. Led by veteran warriors rallied to your cause, the troops fight valiantly and appear to be holding their ground. The battle thus far appears to be a stalemate. Then a group of Erdrin battle mages emerges from behind the enemy lines. They begin waving their hands in unison with practiced precision. Suddenly, waves of arcane fire erupt among your troops. The acrid smell of burning, of smoke and burning flesh is nearly overwhelming. The left rank are Ratwad berserkers, clad in plate armor and wielding greatswords, begin to collapse the left side of the line. The ground is thick with the dead as they press their advantage. While Bleakwalker paladins, dressed in dark armor and carrying sword and shields, stroll back and forth between Gathfin's line, rallying his warriors and exhorting them to fight harder. Battle rages. Marshal Forward looks to you from the orders. We need to deal with those battle mages. Let's send in the Crucible Knights. Knights lock shield and drive forward in wedge formation through the enemy lines. The formation lets them penetrate the line quickly, but leads to heavy losses. The reach of battle mages formation falls apart. Attack against shield lines. We fear the maneuvers. Heal the grisly fate for the last of the night. Take out the berserkers. Everyone on me, charge. Surrender your force, charge. A horn sounds in the distance. A new contingent of warriors crest a nearby hill. Wow, Jesus. There was Captain Emery leading the charge in her dark armor. She kills one of your troops with all damn pistol shot before running another through the gleaming rapier. She's foe to foe, and at one point with the dead around her, she seems to face you from across the battlefield and shrug. And before she has to the side. Point at Gathfin and make a throat slicing gesture. Alright. Let's make sure we hurt these guys as much as we can. Let's see. A little bit more organic action.
Into the fray! Beyond the...
Okay. Oh, get him. Oh.
They shall see not through.
Alright, so I can see how this is gonna go. Try that again. For God's sakes. Sure.
Hey.
Yeah, it's not going well. We'll just, we'll have to come back to that, I'm guessing.
Of course.
I do need to build up my forces, I guess. It was that he said that I could go. Okay, so apparently I have the Crescent Knights, so there's a few other quests I can do to, I think, to get other troops. Let me go talk to one. What special allies do I have? The Knights Crucible Force your infantry. Where am I getting my troops? Pardon me. Okay. Well, I mean, okay, so there's... Let's look at the journal, 'cause I think it'll say something in there. The battle. Okay. So... Here, okay, that's Durance. That's the ruins. Endless path. I wonder, yeah, actually, Cinders of Faith might be interesting. Expedition Hall, okay. Let me go back to Defiance Bay then. And maybe soon, you know, we'll have another part of the key prepared, yeah. Day and 15 hours.
Your thoughts must flow.
Keep hitting like the tilde key.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
I've heard that before. Okay, yep. And then we want to go... I could clean out Heritage Hill, I bet, which might level us up. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me grab a drink so I can take everyone with me, because I have this wireless headset. Oh yes. That's right, I know everyone's concerned. You get to listen to me pouring citrus punch. Delightful citrus punch. Okay. Oh, so this place is haunted. So I guess we better do something about that, being good guys and everything. Yeah, school's not much of a problem. I really probably should
All right
have
then.
arrested before I left K2. I don't know why I didn't. Oh well. Not a big deal.
That's it.
Hey,
I
Hey.
actually probably should go rest before I do this. Let me clear the top part off though. I'm not that worried until I go down into the pit itself. When things get a little tricky. Let's run back to...
you must
The
gather
gate
your
is
party
stay at a
before
hotel.
venturing forth.
Hotel living. Do I want to go? I got a Brackenberry. It's not as freaking misty as it is in the damn Andra's Gift. I don't see anything in that place. What do we got? I don't care. Yeah, whatever. 17 hours. Beautiful paintings for the backgrounds in this game.
Hail, traveler.
Oh, let's see the ruins. Okay.
Hey,
Who? Okay. Wait, we don't need to go crazy. Now let's get back to Heritage Hill. Okay. Let's hit Tom check on this one. That's his kind of work. Escorting supplicants. Okay, so last time I tried this, I was lower level, not well equipped. So what I was thinking this time is dropping some magic. You know how I do. See how it goes. Alright. Where's my wizard friend here? So, I want you to come on up here, and then we're gonna do this.
You're not
And
gonna.
I know the priest one. I really gotta find some better armor for him, but I just, I don't know. He has that special armor. I always feel bad
Rest
taking
up, big guy.
somebody's fancy armor. Okay, tag. Okay, that went a lot better than it did the first time.
All right then. Hey,
Okay. Another grappling hook and some oil. Hell, some sort of death cult shit going on down here. You boys getting into some death cult shit down there? Speak the words you learned from the London Key Acolyte. Alright. Gotta get down here with the lass. Good little rock flag and eagle going on down in this bitch.
Braved out.
That's it!
Skeletal wizard, you know,
Following your lead.
leave it to me.
Okay, this place isn't very big at all. Interesting. So, dearest mother and father, you're pleased to hear that I've learned much already since coming to the city. There are many incredible ruins nearby, and Master Greg has allowed me to accompany him on numerous expeditions. I'm writing to you from inside an ancient Ingwithian tower. There's an entire district built up around it, but the locals have mostly left the tower untouched. They have let us set up temporary living quarters here, so our work continue uninterrupted. It is an unsettling place at times, but Master Greg has been a constant comfort. It is quick to remind me that the things we learned from this tower may one day help us find a cure for Wideone's legacy. Better get some rest now. Mr. Greg likes to get an early start to the day. All my love, Trindig. Okay.
All right then.
What's this? It shimmers and pulsates within the strange device. Mattress is lumpy and smells of old straw, but whoever slept here last made it.
Hey.
Okay.
I have them!
That's it.
There we go. Just some weapons.
Hooray!
That's no mine. Okay.
Of course.
Complete some chunks. What we got? Complete our measurement of the machine. Further examination is required for its intended use. Broken stone war. Not gonna read all that right now. Okay. Skeletal wizard.
Leave it to.
Yeah, come on. Get that skeletal
That's
fighter. Oh yeah. Alright.
All right then.
I agree. Alright then. Okay. Patting and scratchy old coverlet thick and zero with dust. No one's used this bed in weeks. So the tower. It is a tower. Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Leave it to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sometimes dudes need to get shot with magic. I guess. It's a lesson.
Braved out Philadelphia.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Pulling pounding energy in the machine feels even stronger up here.
Hey.
Patrons grow impatient with lack of quantifiable results. They should drag themselves out of their mansion to spend a few nights here if they think it's so easy. Major spellbind, hurricane dampener. Oh, nice. Letter if I got that. Alton, I didn't receive your receipt summons, as well as the two that came before. I'd been waiting for you. I'd been waiting for you to present yourself on my doorstep, so I gave you my answer in person, a firm and unwavering no. I won't help you out. In fact, I relish the idea of you and your team of glorified engineers sitting in that tower, sweating over the ruins I've studied for years. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than knowing that my research, which you've long disparaged, is the missing piece in your mundane little puzzle. As you well know, it's knowledge I've always valued. I'm just around the corner. Encourage you to find me should you wish to rehash this conversation in person. Yours truly, Ikantha. Okay.
All right then.
The scroll contains a pen and ink diagram of the object device running through the tower. Despite the copious measurements and carefully drawn detail, it gives no indication of the machine's purpose. The works of the Ingwithians, a comprehensive guide.
Hey. Hey.
Finally got out of the tower to clear our heads. Beasts take the patrons. We'll finish the study on our own terms, our own time, just as I said as much to Trending. The sky came to life with stray lightning. I said it's a good omen, but the poor lad spooked. Only cure for that is a good night's sleep. Yeah, I know what it's like getting a savage spooked.
Hey,
Getting spooked all savage like, man. It's messed up. Okay. Well, this seems bad. Staying in your device feels like the being blown about by a storm gale. The stone steps hum with energy. I think the background is pretty slick.
Let's try this configuration. Still nothing. Confounded device.
A man hunches over the strange mechanism, his spine a sharp ridge rising from his arched back. He's barely clothed in filthy rags, and the patches of skin you see are mottled green. A spoiled stench emanates from him. He's so intent on his work that he doesn't notice you until your shadow falls over him. When he turns and sees you, he snarls and scuttles behind the Hydra pedestal. Only his bare teeth seem to have escaped decay. His eyes are yellow and bloodshot, but they flicker with intelligence. He averts his gaze and holds a hand in front of his face.
Shouldn't be here. What do you want?
Tell me what happened here.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He smashes a fist in the edge of a pillar. His hand makes a crunching noise, but doesn't bleed. There's his face with the other hand. Forgive me. Forgive me. Research! He clenches his fist in concentration. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from... gods, it hardly matters now. Aloth's lips twist in disgust. If I had a copper skate for every fool McMaster whose thirst for knowledge led to a disaster, well, I never would have ended up in Gilded Vale, that's for sure. Keep talking at him.
Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trendig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides.
It was
A trick of
Vega.
shadows, I told him. The next morning, we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own.
Sweet Jesus.
On its own!
Whoop.
How can we stop what we couldn't start?
As exciting as the prospect of a living machine may be, I suspect that, given mention of a machine and a masked figure both, there is another explanation.
Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar, clinging to rotting meat.
Slow down. What does this machine have to do with souls?
No time to slow down. But I can explain. Hold a magnet over iron splinters and they stick, yes? Rub your hand over weir wool and the hair of your head will follow it. So it is with this machine.
He looks at you and runs his tongue along the edge of his fine, strong teeth. He quickly looks away.
It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfath? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk.
How can I help? Not your help, I need it. Alden snarls. Harridan Shrew. He shivers, scowling. Squanders her research on frivolities and refuses to make herself useful. Runes. The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Encanta knows them. She gives them to you and you can turn the machine off, release our souls. Wait, runes? The Ingwithan runes? She can read them? He speaks of this feat so blandly. Let's talk instead of this harridan, Hammer. I'd pick her thoughts for a time. She wasn't here the night the machine came on. Staying with her patron somewhere. Near. Too good to be burdened with our ignorant company. What happened to the rest of your team?
By the time I realized what had happened, the district had already been sealed. So we fed when we needed, and locked ourselves in the tower to work. And then there came a time when the hunger struck, and there was hardly anyone left.
There was a stranger in the tower the night this happened?
I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely.
But you're not like the ghouls on the streets.
Not yet. But I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. Until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply. I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster.
Well, he is dedicated.
You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance.
I'll get the words.
Yes. Acantha. She was here. In the district. Probably here still. Always prepared. Clever lady, that one. And perhaps you'll bring me something. Something to keep me sharp. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong.
That doesn't sound ominous. We cannot do this, Master Watcher. This beast is beyond our aid. Do not make yourself like him. Yeah, I'm not planning on. Inspect the machine. A sunburst of copper filaments surround a dial and look to be about twice the size of a hen's eggs. The filaments cross the diverge, ending in a V-tipped nodes. Each fire has a point of origin somewhere along the edge of the dial. Runes are inscribed around the dial. Okay. Let's get out of here. Proceed to the bottom. Proceeding to the bottom. Proceed. Yeah, where? It was over here, I think. Yeah, this is it. And I think there's a few angry spirits waiting for me over here as well. Okay. There she is, yep. Woman bends over a roaring fireplace, feeding a splintered chair leg into it. As she gets closer, you notice something unnatural about her. A certain pallor to her skin, a lack of movement beneath her flesh, even while her arms execute deft, efficient movements. And you see the puckered flesh, ragged and bloodless, over her heart. I would not get too close, Hammer. Look there. She is not truly living, and thus things always hunger for life.
It's rude to stare, you know. Don't worry. I've no mind to start anything with you. After all, I've stayed in such good shape by choosing my meals carefully.
I saw you in a vision. There's something you need to do for me.
Believe me, I've heard that line before.
I need the words that offer to the Ingwithan machine in the tower. She laughs, a noise that blends the crunch of dry leaves with something piercing and white-hot. That fooled Aldham. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. A simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is. You feel a hot core of pride smoldering at the center of her soul. He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sent you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. She shakes her head as she pokes the fire with renewed ferocity. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for the meaning. Humble Aldum now by demonstrating the value of your research. My silence demonstrates it more succinctly. Your words fan the strange coals at the center of her soul. Tell me the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls.
How do you operate the machine atop Ter Nuneth?
Back to these Tinker's concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I'd release them.
So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless.
I could help you, but I won't. The pride lodged in her soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. Here I have specimens aplenty, and time enough to observe them all. It's every scientist's dream. My answer is no. What? But what good is observing if all you're going to do is hoard it all for yourself? Tell her, Hammer. An entire language at your fingertips, and she hides it away. Extinguishing Countess Pride. Femfrey doesn't seem to notice. You wrap your mind around the scrawling, burning mass. However, it sears your very bones. You jump back, crying out in pain. I won't abandon this opportunity. These souls will remain here with me, and I'll accomplish more than any McMaster in the history of the field. And who will know about it? The pride thing flickers in the flames around its abate. All have I learned? Years of studying the Ingwithan language? No one understands it better than me. That counts for something. Your opportunities here are finite. One day that knowledge dies with you. The pride hisses and sputters. It's a little more than an ember now. You're wrong. There's no conviction in her voice. I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. Extinguish her pride. You reach for it, but it's still too hot to grasp in your mind for more than a second. It may not be much, but it's still something you can't take away from me. Teach me what you know, and I'll make sure it... No. Will that really be enough for you? The dying cinder clings to life. It will, it must. Extinguish Acantha's pride. Still too hot. Teach me what you know, and I'll make sure it grows and your legacy lives on. Words finally quench her pride, and all that remains is a blackened diamond hard rock. You cast it away where it melts into the darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need.
Her cold, dry fingertips rest on your temples, and you feel her searching into your mind, forming images from the darkness. Runes flash through your head, but they no longer just pictures. They have meaning, and you understand them. They're commands. Something triggers in your mind, a distant memory unearthed from a past life long since buried. You can see a vast array of runes, far more than Acantha has shown you, and you know their sound and their meaning and how they fit together. The language of Ingwith once more at your command.
Something has awakened in
She
your
retreats
mind.
from you.
You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose,
Wow.
it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
Speaker of dead tongues now. And so he surpasses 100 frustrated scholars in the matter of a few moments. I don't suppose you could look at a few books for me. You said the other towers around the Darewood were constructed to move souls. Why would the Ingwithans have wanted to do that? Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields, to collect them like butterflies under glass, to melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know. I still don't understand why Ingwithans would want to build a machine that tethers souls. Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Ingwithans as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment. Certainly. What do I do with the tower now that I know these words?
Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
I don't know. Destroying it seems like it might do this place some good. Explain how the controls work. Harnessing the power of Ter Nuneth is about understanding that it is what it is designed to do. You know the words and their meanings. You can speak them, and the tower shall obey. That's all. Thanks. Left out to rot, these potatoes are covered with wet, rank-smelling bruises. These stale loaves are as hard as rocks. Okay, let's go over the tower again. Hill. How's my character coming along here? Oh god, I'm like 16 experience for my main guy. That's cool. That'll be good. Get some more abilities and spells. Get my mechanical up a bit more. Make it easier to pick locks and disarm traps. Especially since I picked up the mother. She's the grieving mother. She's like super stealth. It's pretty cool. Alright, let's do this. Aldum looks way worse than before. His rotting flesh hangs loosely, and he sores of eaten away patches skin at the joints, so there's a strange glimmer in his eyes.
Flesh.
Bells over, coughing up strings of black bile. Seems to have forgotten about you for the moment. A jagged edge of pillar rises in front of you, encased in stonework and run through with copper veins. The panel is now covered with runes, which you can understand. You recognize words for end and for hold. The dial is currently fixed on hold. You also recognize by the description the manner in which you turn the dial is meant for throttling the device. Maximize the machine's throttle and host of overloading the device. Muttering a command, you give the dial a violent twist. The moving spires spin faster and faster, wobbling from their axes. As the light filling the machine quickly becomes too bright to behold. You look away and cover your ears, but the thunderous crash that follows shakes the floor beneath you. When you look back, the machine is in ruins, never to be used again. Alright, so I love the artwork.
Hey.
Still and silent.
Yeah, it is over.
It's finally over.
Okay, good. We got a bunch of leveling up to do. Okay. Oh, my mechanics. I can't actually go any further for that, so... Force of English. Passive. Generates shockwave in their mic each time. Well, I like that, actually. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Okay, done.
Almost.
And Adair. He's got 6. He can. That's maybe. I mean, that might be good for him. It's just kind of, yeah. Why not? I guess. So what is this? Okay. Unbending. I think I'm gonna do that. Since he's my tank and all. And yeah, you know, lore. So I'm gonna stick there. Terrestrial Foss. Oh Jesus, that's nice. Okay, yeah. Finally, we'll okay, my lore is pretty intense on this guy, so let's yeah. You know. Ooh, 4th level spells. The Wall of Flame. Nope. Minor Grammar. Minor Arcane Reflection. Concussive Missiles. Project 5 projectiles. Area effect target. Okay. Okay, some AoE. Okay, I will take that. That, you know, fine. You know, you can set up all sorts of fun traps and stuff like that, I guess.
Hey.
So, pop on down out of here. The bottom. Oh, that thing's not gurgling anymore. Whoa, this guy. Beg your pardon, I have a message for you. You are summoned to Hadred House, where Lady Webb wishes to meet you as soon as possible. And here I thought the locals were exaggerating about Dunred Row. Seems like your name's come up in some important meetings. I hope nobody was shouting it at the time. Tell me about Lady Webb. Do you not know Lady Webb? She's, well, no one's seen her exactly in a long time. But she's the mistress of Dunred Row. Has been for so as long as anyone can remember. He pauses, eyeing passerby with his suspicion. Quietly, he continues. She's supposed to be old. Older than anybody. She never leaves her room. Some say she's wasted away and she's just a pile of bones kept animated by dark magics. Well, I got that going for her. She's still at it, best anyone can tell. Learning things, keeping us safe, pulling the strings behind the throne. Too, it's said, has a ring of ciphers doing her bidding, telling her everything that goes on. You do wrong in this country, before you go asking the gods for forgiveness, best you ask Lady Webb first. How did you know where to find me? Well, it's Lady Webb. She knows everything. What's Dunwood Row? Whole mess of ciphers run out of Hadred House. They make it their business to keep the peace, but they don't like you to see them do it. Problem in this city have a way of going away on their own, and when that happens, you can make a pretty good guess as to why. Where can I find Hadred House? In Brackenbury, my lord. The southwest corner. You'll find the lady upstairs. Very well. The tower, it's off. Does this mean the curse on Heritage Hill is lifted? Defiance Bay owes me. I'd better get a manor in Brackenbury for this. Well, that's not for me to decide, but I'm sure the city will see you're well rewarded. Alright, well, they better, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I do need to go over to Brackenbury, but first, fires. Hey, thanks for subscribing, by the way. Or not subscribing, following, you know what I mean. Like, appreciate it. Actually, yeah, let's go to the palace first. Okay.
You must gather your party.
Okay. Goodbye.
Hey,
And, well, I guess they don't really care that much. Okay. Let's go to Brackenbury. Yeah, okay. Okay. We should certainly get down to Brackenbury now. Alright. Once in Brackenbury, maybe I'll go rest first and then find a Lady Webb. Hadred House. Yeah. I'll go over here first, yeah. Yep. These guys, I talked these guys out of killing me last time. And they're still here.
hey.
They're just chilling, I guess.
Hello.
And not killing. Let's see, let's hit this. Okay. Uh-oh. Heck yeah. So now. Anything kinda... Weapons and armor merchant, that's cool. Oddball curiosities. Let's see. Wow, there's some cool stuff. I want to get the woodland trails going. But I got the tower up. Okay. Let's go to Hadra House. That was it, right? Yep. Oh. Older robed man. As you near the apparition, you are overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that sits like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real, the recollection of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. It wrenches your insides, nevertheless. The apparition's brow is tensed, a look of concern playing across its face.
The other missionaries say you have been neglectful of your duties.
My mind has been elsewhere.
Oh? And what troubles you?
The pain in your stomach deepens and you feel for a moment as though you're about to be sick. Your mouth has gone dry. Forgive me, Eminence. I wish to leave the order. Man folds his finger together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful.
You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
The people we intended to convert, they committed unspeakable acts, sacrifices, mutilations. The apparition exhales slowly and its lips pressed together, a sympathetic rapport in its eyes. Places its hand on your shoulder.
These are the ways of the heathen world.
Surely the gods would do better to destroy us all and start anew.
Perhaps they would. It may come to that one day. This is why we must not fail. The heathens are beyond the gods' reach. They do not know better. We are tasked with delivering them to the gods, so that the gods may heal their souls.
Is such a thing possible?
I have seen it with my own eyes. You will see it too, if you choose to remain. There is no greater calling than the one we have chosen. Neither words, nor wealth, nor battle will end this suffering. Only the gods. Will you give them that chance?
The knot in your stomach seems to loosen all at once, and the anxiety is replaced with something else entirely. Something warm and soothing. It is something you know you can never repay. As the vision fades, you start to become cognizant of many odd looks aimed in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. I will.
Greetings.
Excuse me, but I'm looking for you. You're the one who lifted the curse on Heritage Hill. My lady wishes to remain anonymous, has entrusted me with bringing you this pistol. It belonged to a dear friend of hers who was lost to the curse. For your part in reclaiming Heritage Hill, my lady wishes you to have it. Here, may it serve you well. Thank you. She bows. You are quite welcome. Oh, cool. Now I must be off. Farewell. Let's see what the gun's about. That's pretty cool. Oh wow, that is nice. Well, what's say 28 to 42. This is 24 to 33. It has shock damage though? Oh wow, okay. So it's gonna do extra damage. It's more than it says, so I'm gonna try it. That's pretty cool. Okay.
Hey.
Alright, let's go meet with Lady Webb.
Hail and well met.
The Orland man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end and his ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers. Kaid Nua, Gilded Veil, old voices indeed. How did you know? The Orlon grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients. Oh god, that's a weird way of putting it. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downward. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards the table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Durnwood Row? I was invited here by Lady Webb. Curran cocks his head to one side as if trying to get a better look at you. Forgive me. She doesn't take many visitors, but the ones she does invite are a fascinating lot. I've always marveled at her choices. Nothing in common to my eyes, but her side is far keener than mine. I wonder what it is she sees. Her room is upstairs, the one with the guards out front. The city may not understand her value, but the Duke certainly does. Looks like you could use some help. So many secrets and trails in this city. You have to turn a corner to find a fresh trace of something stolen, or someone missing. He flicks an ear. Unfortunately, we haven't the time to investigate them all. I'm supposed to be working on other matters, but my mind still lingers on a few recent cases. Curse of a cipher to be ruled by the whims of curiosity. Well, just tell me about these cases. One case or three, depending on how you look at it. He taps his clawed fingers together. 3 weeks and a disappearance at the end of each. Some might call it a coinkydink. I call it a clue. He didn't say that, that was me. Lady Webb knows you, trusts you, so I shall trust you too, so long as our interests are aligned. I'll look into it. Where should I start? He grins, a razor-tipped teeth showing between his lips. Copper Lane, Andres Gift, and Brackenberry, of course. To talk to the ones who reported the disappearances. The only ones who know enough to care. Laura, Oli, and Elka. Who's missing? 2 men, 1 woman. Lindry, Kendall, and Cora. Well, tell me about Lindry. Best to ask Oli. Seems they drank together at the Salty Mast at Andres Gift. Also seems that no one else knew him well enough to miss him. One of his ears twitches. Tell me more about Kendall. Reported missing by Elka, a dwarf who carried traces of... He closes his eyes and sniffs the air. Fine wine and young dandies. Plenty of time and money to spend on her pleasures. Try Brackenberry. Tell me more about Cora. Sister of Laura, one of the merchants in the Copper Lane Bazaar. Not the kind of person who would just disappear, it seems. Laura was most distraught. I think a visit from someone sympathetic will raise her spirits. Did you find any leads? Not yet. No obvious connection between the victims, which is what makes me wonder so. He runs his hand along the length of one ear. Could be animancy related. Researchers always need subjects, the less scrupulous types in particular. He pauses, deep in concentration. Seems too risky for the sanitarium. Hey, but one never knows. Ilaf folds his arms. I wouldn't put it past them. He waves a hand. Talk first to the people who reported our victims missing. Mayhap you will catch something I missed. Let me talk to you about something else. Yes, of course, he watches you eagerly. Tell me more about your skills. I check for soul collections, and collections too, why not? Looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher. In Air Glenfath, we were once known as Brishelgwyn, Mind Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until the Animancers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Now we make some of the best detectives in the world, tracing souls. We can look at a person and see where they've been, or look at a weapon and see who has touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you. Useful for solving crimes, as you can imagine. Farewell. Cool.
Hey.
Alright. That's a cool looking fountain. The marble at the base has been worn smooth by the vast passage of hundreds of feet. Alright, let's run upstairs and see Lady Webb. Oh, cool. Durant's leveled up. And the Grieving Mother, so. This dude. Yeah. So. I don't really know why he. Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Oh yeah, new spells, that's right. For major and oh wow, that's nice. What's this one? Searing okay, it's like a trap. Shining beacon. Take burn damage. Triumph of the Crusades. Imparts allies. When an ally in the area of effect delivers a killing blow, he or she regains endurance. Oh wow, that's pretty neat. Barring death's door. Oh, prevents. Oh wow, okay. If it's cast right, that's great. Alright, let's get the Grieving Mother here. Set up. Her stealth. That's good. That's like 7, 8 is what it's gonna be. Need to save 1. Lost. Yeah, I mean. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. What's this one? Random attribute. Silent scream. It's like hell. Raw damage. Jeez, that's pretty cool. But what is this one? Violence. I'm gonna do that. Yes. Okay.
Hey.
The one with the guards outside. It's gonna be this one. Okay. This woman clutches a thick stack of parchment with spindly, wrinkled fingers, her flesh stretched thin to near translucence with extreme age. A gossamer veil over pale blue veins, ink splotches and candle burns dot and stripe her hands like a quilt patterned after some great indescribable truth. She does not look up from her reading.
So, the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Cad Noir. Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
Kana leans in towards you, a meager trick giving Cade Newell's fame.
Since then, as I understand it, you entered a quarantine district that is absolutely off limits to all civilians and somehow managed to walk back out with your life. What could possibly have been on your mind to make you do such a thing?
I'm investigating a strange group.
Strange does not begin to describe them. The practices of the Leaden Key defy all reason. You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the Leaden Key?
One of their members caused my soul to awaken. I need him to reverse it. She closes her eyes and the lids flicker. Then her face goes still, and her mouth parts, little more than a sliver. Her hand briefly drops open, spilling some of her parchment to the ground. The pages wafting around her legs like the leaves of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peel back, and her gaze is immediately upon you.
The gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. One of the most elusive and dangerous men Eora has ever known.
What can you tell me about Theos?
More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The leaden key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it. What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Whitaker's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also explain another supposed gift of his. His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others, if their souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity.
Sounds like a dick.
He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a driven, single-minded man. He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
What else is there to know about the leaden key?
Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other members. They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in, or sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know. If you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal.
It's good when you're in combat,
Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary. And he does not fail.
What do you want
Keep
from
me informed. The leaden key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you. Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can.
Very
If you
well.
find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
There's something I can tell you about the leaden key's operations.
Well, let's hear it.
The Ingwithan Tower in Heritage Hill contains an ancient machine that controls the flow of souls. The leaden key activated it.
This is troubling. That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The leaden key was born in that period. It may be that Theos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
Let's see. I have other questions.
Yes?
Are you psychic?
If you are hoping I can look at your hand and tell you whom you should marry, you can just wipe that notion from your mind. I do not know what will happen tomorrow. That is what I pay spies for. Being a cipher is not unlike being a watcher. You notice more about what is already there. Many can hold an object and know where it's been, or peer into the thoughts of people around them. They can also sometimes affect those thoughts, but that would be unethical, of course. A tiny, talented few pick up so much about the world around them, they can get images of things to come, but these are fleeting and unreliable.
You said you don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Who said I was talented? I don't. Least not that I can trust. And with me, it's only ever about one thing anyway.
What's that?
A quiet day at home.
How did you come to be here?
Me? I started this place. In a different time, under a different duke. I impressed the duke with my research and my work ethic, and he became possessed of the notion that I would be ideal to lead a secret network of gifted investigators. I don't know how such an idea got into his head.
Hey, she winks at me. Oh, hey. Is there a Lord Well?
There was.
What happened to him?
He believed in dying with dignity. He was old-fashioned that way, my husband. We saw the world very differently, he and I.
Hey.
But he was good to me while he lasted.
I'm walking here. Tell me about Dunard Row.
All the things there are to know in this world, and you ask me about work. Deerwood is a rebel country. Conflict is in its blood. If you think a few guards posted in our cities keep chaos at bay, you are very new to town indeed.
Bird.
We are Deerwood's cipher investigators, of course. But what we really are is its last barrier against anarchy. People are more at ease when they believe they are watched over by someone more enlightened than they are. It pacifies them. So that is the image we foster. And we do try to be enlightened for their sake. The knowledge we gather here is Deerwood's standing army in many ways. We learn what's vital and we act on it while Deerwood sleeps, blissfully unaware of the terrifying truths all around them. I wish I could tell people the things I know sometimes, but the truth is I don't think many of them could bear it.
I'm way too polite to ask how old are you, so let's just go. Let's talk about something else. Farewell.
Try your best not to die out there.
I'm gonna give that a good shot. The try not to die
Hey,
thing. That's how I like to roll. Not dead. Okay. Wait, what? What's going on here? Really?
Braved out.
Yeah, well, get a chance to try out a okay, so this guy is not looking too good. I'm gonna take him out. Oh wow, yeah, that got him. This one's not looking too good either. But
I have them.
okay, yeah. Oh yeah, what am I doing here? Let me. Hey, where's my? my new jam? Where's my new jam? What's this one? So generates a field terror, frightening enemies in the area of effect. Increases the movement rate, affects all allies in the area. The bones allies in effect, giving them bonus fortitude and will. Okay, so what about this dog? Can I not like remove this one or something? Yeah, I am in the middle of combat, so it's probably not going to happen right now. But I will throw down some of the list for this dickhead to enjoy.
This one repels my touch.
Step!
There we go. This guy's having a good time with that archivist. Or arbalist. Arbalist, yeah. Let me wind it up real good, gentlemen. Alright. Well, that wasn't unexpected.
Of course.
Jock check. Oh, I bet. Andre's gift. Let's see. You know. I guess I should go up here since I keep hearing things about it. Oh, alright.
Gods keep you.
A woman stands as a shade of guard, muttering to herself. She fixated on the pages of large and well-worn tomes, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I am rather busy. What are you so busy with? She snapped her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? She brushes a straight lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the Hollowborn. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Wedwin's legacy. Maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory, anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put it into practice. What exactly do you need? There's a manuscript called Theorems of Pandagrum, and contains research from the Pandagram's experiment on detached souls. All revealed mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pandagram's work is considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts, not something generally circulated among novices, or easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek at it. Theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. I'm sorry to hear that. Look at me spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I should really get back to my work. Anything else? I'll leave you alone. Farewell. Okay. The table is set with an assortment of leaflets and booklets with titles like Practical Benefits of Animancy and Soul Adjustment for the Well-Adjusted Soul.
Hey.
I could look at old Verna there. The table is set with an assortment of leaflets. Okay, yep. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Helmer groans and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many of the intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own. But a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. I don't like what they stand for. If you have been able to discern what precisely they do stand for, I would be fascinated to hear it. Just another collection of cowards trying to hold back the tide because it frightens them, it seems to me. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. I'm curious as to know how you've come to be in your present state. In the statue, you mean? Well, he laughs. I was old, and it seemed wrong to me. A lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. We are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence. It will be in spite of our condition. Of that I am quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they are not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humor me and consult over some problem. They are jealous breed and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson. This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We're an old institution as Darewood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was those born with, shall we say, ill-favored souls came to populate its streets in droves. Thus the sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I would think. Our founding here came at a time of great suspicion and animancy, much like today. So much progress has been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work in its soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There has been some push to shut us down. It comes from Deerwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace this very moment defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Absurd as it is, absurd as it sounds. If it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Avier may be swayed by all this unrest, irrational though it may be. We shall see. Does anyone here know anything about awakenings? As an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Revua to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belisage. Farewell. Alright. Stairway down. Alrighty. Let's go see Belisage. If that really is your name. Big place. Oh, well, okay.
Good day, stranger.
A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ecosse! Here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kits standing in front of me. What can I do? I'm looking for an expert on awakenings, not the Robin Williams movie. She laughs bitterly. Ah, that would be me? Though the lack of research subjects has made more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened, but I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck, I have a volunteer. She springs the balls of her feet, beaming. Gilad! Who is it? Alice's lip curl into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. You Adirans are so uptight. Not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last document in his office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed. His eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer fastens thick copper bands to Alice's forehead and wrists. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into the desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with alger lenses, cut to differentiate thickness and concavities. But by manipulating them, I can find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. How exciting. I've never seen this sort of thing performed. Kana peers at the device with interest. Seems suitably complicated. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Esselman more? I like that lady. His mind is full of hesitations, angles upon angles. Drawing him out of his own fear will be difficult. She raises a finger. But first, we must find the cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Aloth squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the Sithwood. He looks to you, his face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through nevertheless. Talk about your parents. As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mist of his own memory. Belisage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closed his eyes. Mother is away most of the time. with the Thanes family, but I always know when she is coming home. Father's bottles accumulate like storm clouds on the horizon. His fits of temper become swifter and more violent. It still shames him, knowing that her heimneg to another man supports us better than his labors as a steward. This is good. I am starting to see something continue. Tell us about the time you awaken. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. He has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am sweeping the kitchen, the next time sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. Thud. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Madikyo. Belisage furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with his old memory. You've got to bring him out of it. Quickly, I almost have it. Squeeze Aloth's hands. You're safe. Everything's fine. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. He's near safe when I hap upon him. Belisage sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ire. That warm molasses feeling that creeps down your gut when crisis is nigh. Belfeto. We have flares of totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes on the pages next to her and turns one clinking knob of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Asimir, tell Aloth why you've awakened. Fie! He's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. Aloth's face twists in fury. I never turned it over to you. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see 2 separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. As if the awakened soul fills the space that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrist. Quill still in hand. Go on. Aloth, what's this about ceding your space to Asilmir? He grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. You should ask what I did to old man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Nigh was awakening, but now I'm stuck with you, and damned if I let your ninnying drag us both through the scupper. Ah, she's good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Decimal's essence through the exchange. She had a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seemed to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. It's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horse shit. Black bile, is it? They've certainly spat their share. Canna studies Aloth dubiously. It is a simpler explanation than I expected, all things considered. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation? Let's see. Isilmir manifests when Alice is in danger or under pressure. Belisage carefully stretches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Alice. I suppose that could be true, she jots another note. I'll have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you. But what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill, making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. Okay. She did you a favor by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should probably hear her out. If you had to listen to her half as much as I do, you wouldn't say that. He scowls, but you notice something thoughtful in his frown. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thank you for your help. Hammer! He does not look at Belisage. She set her notes on her desk and returned to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful for you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of revoir, frente à la. His grin melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the rightwise principles of animancy. Just what you've always wanted. She turned to leave. You catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Alice is holding her notes. She's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lip, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information public like this, especially not after her nonsense. Fair enough, but do it quietly. He hides the papers in his cloak. Neither worry. We'll see to this on our own.
Hey.
Okay. Skulls for the mother, you know. Mom loves skulls. Moms love skulls. 2 days, 23 hours. Yeah, moving on up. Father's teeth. Expires 24 hours. Somewhere deep in the ruins of Ebril's Well, a pair of Puigra prey on travelers and offer up sacrifices to their mother. Past travelers simply need to avoid all trails. Okay, yeah, I'll send Sonic out on it. Okay. Let's see who we got. What the hell is this? The edge of the cage are dented and scored with claw marks. That doesn't seem good. How is this place? Look at people in here trying to make trouble for the Animancers. Mind being better armed.
Hey.
So what if it makes the clients a little nervous? Here's Ripley. Let's see if we can believe it.
Greetings.
I'm betting not. A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her. Row by row, her motions quick and skittish. Like a bird, she does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? Let's see what you... I'm investigating any suspicious activity going on in the sanitarium. Oh, I'm just Master Azo's assistant. He'd know more about that, but he's in the middle of an busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he comes out from the patient's ward. There's nothing else I need to get back to work. Is Atzo busy with patients, or is he running some sort of experiment? So I'm just an assistant. It's not my place to gossip. I'm sorry. How do I get into the patient ward? Only Master Atzo has access. I guess Head Warden Ethelmore does too, but he's, a statue now. What do you do near? I mostly help Master Azo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized. He's too busy to do it himself. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. Me? I'm just Master Atzo's assistant, but that's a visiting scholar from Reveille here named Belisage. She claims to know about them. Farewell. Yeah, trust me, I will talk to that guy about old Jim. Modred here. See what's going on. The Animaster scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with a mingle of perplexity and irritation.
How do you do?
Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. I hear that Velian woman studies them. You should go talk to her instead. What are you working on? My area of focus is whites, more especially how to cure them. What's a white? Hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. Or wicked, maybe. I don't know. What is it? I will say... Let's say... let's see. One of the Animancer's early efforts to cure legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood. When they reach adolescence, they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of care. Let's see. Yeah, it is kind of a little weird, isn't it? Let's see. Transplanting animal souls into children seems like an odd solution, which also is kind of weird. We animancers were trying to do something about the crisis. Better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall. And despite the controversy, it only went so far because, at first, it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between the bottom and the soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. But we pay dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside, often as not. The grieving mother recoils. A grotesque manipulation, a desperate solution for a desperate problem. And the parents were heartbroken, betrayed. She closes her eyes and seems to recede from you for a moment. But it was important to try something, was it not? To bring hope, even for a little while. She falls silent. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it. We wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. Why do you study wicks? Or whites, whichever. He huffs. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face is red and he turns away from you for a moment, shakes his head. Animancy has an answer here. I know it. Simply a matter of working it out. The grieving mother reaches out as if to put a hand on Mordred's cheek. Such pain, Watcher, and such determination. I see. Good. He looks eager to return to his work. Just looking around. Then be quick about it. Don't touch anything. The sanitarium has a lax visitor policy, but I don't. Without another word, he resumes his work.
Hey.
Alright then. He seems angry. Let him get back to his business. Let's talk to the spooky statue. He's not that spooky. Have you learned anything of interest? Maybe. Is Cadman Azo running experiments on the patients here? Experiments? Cadman Azo is in charge of patients' welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I'm disappointed in Cadman. I'd hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in my office or in the patient wards. I'm granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you'll wish to speak to him further on this matter, and I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would also ask that you do your best to not agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Farewell. Alright. Let's run back downstairs. Okay, I'll be careful. Frail. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. What do you know about this Animancer Atzo? Oh, I like him very much. Many Animancers could care less about their patients. Look at us like vermin for their experiments. Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You could tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened, Aitzo? Frail's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. I don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood, that his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek his treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work. Suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. God knows that's something we need. Do you know what they called those empty little babies in Andra's gift? No, tell me. They called them buoys. Because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. The grieving mother's hand fly to her ears, and her mouth frames a silent scream. Only her mind speaks. Evils that magnify tragedies. This is what we must stop. Anyway, Master Atzo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. The next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard, and he stopped seeing patients. Don't know exactly what happened, I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Have any of the patients been acting unusually? Well, there's Batixa, who believes a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Edelman, who they say only has half a soul and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Atzo lets us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham. I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the guards allow a visitor, just Master Atzo. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. Why are you in here? Behind her hair, her cheeks flush. I don't want to say, you'll think less of me. When you blush, it brings out the color of your eyes. Her blush deepens and she ducks her head forward to bury her face deeper beneath her hair. The last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy, took her before she was ever mine. I made do. What else can you do? I moved into a tiny place in Audra's gift. Got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day this noblewoman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing, the shade of blue I'd never seen before. Only I had looked at it and it reminded me of something. I had what they call an awakening. I remember being a noblewoman myself in another life. People doting over me, men doting over me. Me! The best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of, they were mine. It was poison, knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life, it did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls of my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that to break into an estate and start ordering servants around. Seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it, and I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? You had it right before. There's nothing to do but live with it. That's what kept me going, but it hasn't gotten easier, and it's just too bad. You know where I might find Atso? I think I've seen him around today. You check the laboratory? Shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time in there lately. Farewell. The crooked boards show deep gouge marks. They're spaced like folk or elven fingers. I don't really want to talk to this. Oh, what the hell? No
Hey.
visitors.
Hey.
Distance. Weeks in that cell back there. Had an incident when people got close.
Hey.
What do we got here? Okay. Walk on down the line. Patience. Okay. I have a great feeling about this. A round-faced balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Yeah. Ethelmar told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmar hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved in an inanimate object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If Venomancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Red's race. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreement with the statue, but Ethelmer's right about this fellow at least. He sneers at Atso. How easily ambition masquerades as prudence. I bet he's fooled even himself. You toy with things beyond your comprehension. It's dangerous and foolish.
Are you from Rayed Ceres? Are you Widwen himself, risen to smite me for my heretical belief in learning who I am and why I exist? Please. You are afraid because men have taught you to be afraid. Because they were taught to be afraid. These things are only beyond our comprehension because of the fears of people like you. Who will solve Widwen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Heard you were demoted. How did that happen? Atso's nostrils flare, and he bares his upper teeth more broadly. That's none of your concern. Then one of the others put you up to this? Oddmer, that smug weasel? Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. I'd like access to the North Ward. Out of the question. These patients are in isolation for a reason. So you can coerce them into your experiments? Freya told me everything.
She's a patient! That blazing woman knows nothing of the nature of my experiments.
Balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl simmering beneath his breath and a deep skull compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
Pulls a heavy key from his pocket and nearly slams it down on the floor before handing it to you. Copper wires and conduits are shiny. The device is warm to the touch.
Hey.
Copper wires, okay.
Hey.
Something churns and bubbles in the tank. Okay. has face problems. Graham. This man has the look in his eyes of a hunted animal, and as you approach, he staggers backward to the far corner of his cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls as if he would get farther away from him. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you have heard. I need to ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It's unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth, but words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, but if indeed they are words at all. I don't think he can speak anymore. Not words, at least. This is monstrous. Things I need to know from you. I'm going to learn whether you or not you can speak. See you uncertainly, slowly. Tentatively, he steps closer to the front of the cell, and as he does, for the first time you see his soul within your kin. It's misshapen as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers or resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Graham's soul. And here we go. You project out toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You're in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else in your mind is a single word, and that word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall, kind of cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks in the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across the books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work, and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knob, and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats. And then you're screaming a scream you can barely hear. Continue searching. Another night. Heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door, the flesh giant, the artificial being, just outside. But facing left, facing the end of the hall, the boy there. The boy looks with interest as the giant then collapses to the floor like a shed of snakeskin. Giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away and leaves. Go ahead and decouple here. Graham looks at you, still wide-eyed but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. Oh, that's messed up.
Hey.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
What were you expecting? I have seen the sick and mad exiled, or else treated like contagious vermin. Cannot believe this is the kindest alternative. But if all were treated like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What do these patients do to warrant such condition? Here's that source of knowledge you were so giddy about. Kana grimaces. It's one thing to be told as much, another to see it yourself. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul.
Hey.
Earned some pretty good money.
All right, then.
Uskrim, a willowy adolescent boy, stands in the center of his cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement. It's unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. Like a doll's eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. No, hell with it, let's go. Close your eyes and edge forward toward the boy's soul. As you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. So you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable mist of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds. The same stops every time. The misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly you think to yourselves, and you feel the strength of hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, refreshing it, and contained. In this new vessel, you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down the corridor, unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary and trustworthy eyes of the mad. Coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings were pulled past you, or perhaps you were pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. They settle into place again. You're outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl, but this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. Bear witness, he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. The crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with radiant mist that casts the entire amphitheater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to the set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and setting and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is being infused with the soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. Looks back at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there's obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another and another. You look up at the man, giving the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume meant for the crowd, and this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down to the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panic screams from the crowd, and by the time the rancher reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots around mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expansive with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith in its center. The room is filled with people, and all the people look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now that this is the soul of Thaux ex Arcanon, the man you have been searching for, that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. Now you made me into a watcher. I need you to undo it. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then he seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know you look. You hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul, and usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backwards with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward.
That's it.
Yeah, that seems bad. Yeah, sure. Okay, so who do we have left here? We got a couple of guys really low, so get rid of them. And we can throw another heal. Alright, a little bit late on that one. Oh well. Okay, so I may knock out. Didn't really get to talk to Batik though. Okay. Let's get this dude.
Hey.
Well, that was something else, huh?
Of course.
The chain's grown with added weight. Crescent bite marks pit the edges of the cot.
Hey.
Extra spin of cash, I guess, for the buckets reek of offal.
All right then.
I guess so. Oh my. I didn't expect that. Why am I not attacking you guys? There we go. Sometimes the pathing's a little weird when you like try to get them to attack. Alright. Let me hit a quick save here. I guess I can. Oh, look, I can.
I'm sorry if I was a little tactless before. About your being a watcher. I didn't really understand what was involved. Is it hard, hearing the spirits all the time?
No, you get a little overwhelming. I imagine so. All the gathered dead, clamoring for attention? Kanikoff. Sorry, at any rate, we're bound to find a solution. You can count on my help until we do.
Hey.
What's going on here? I wonder. Yeah, I don't think anything. Nice. Saki explore the ruins. It's pretty awesome. Those little short stories, but looking for what we got going on here. Good lord, Tom.
Hey.
This guy's an asshole, so
Hey.
what have I done? What? Oh wow.
That's it! Leave it to me!
A bunch of effed up children is weird to me.
Varanthus!
Feel bad about what's her name getting killed.
Leave it to me!
Let's go, let's go!
Varanthus! Of course. Hey.
What?
Hey.
Alright. I love a rainy night. Okay.
Brave thou feel.
Actually, I guess I could. Yeah. At that point. Yeah, I think I'm.
Worth a look.
Really? It's all the main areas there, so I'm going to. What the hell is that? I may have set back that guy's wicked or white research a little bit by killing everyone. Places happen down there. You can mission to ask questions. Etzo was being influenced by a patient. That patient really wasn't himself at the time. Read accounts of people in history could do what you described. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest they are all the same person. As truly such a person was here among us plotting our ruin. Would that I had a body again, and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I'm grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What of Atso? What part did his experiments play in this catastrophe? If I hadn't come along, Atso's experiments would have eventually resulted in another scandal. Burn. Worst possible time. Say no more. Cadman Atso is no longer welcome at this facility. Aww.
Hey.
Well, I feel better. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. So, alright, I'm gonna go.
You must gather your party.
I'm gonna get a solid state hard drive, I think, sometime soon. Not that that was a bad load time, but
How fares your search?
Something I can tell you about the Leaden Keys operation.
Well, let's hear it.
I found Thaus in Brackenbury Sanitarium impersonating a patient. He's trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me. It is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep. This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it. But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale. That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
Hey.
Okay, so that was the end of a quest. Okay. Let's slide over to Caden Nua. I want to talk to my the guy that handles my army. Let's talk about the army. What special ally? Okay. How much time do I have? Okay, I just want to check on that.
You must gather your party before.
Something about gathering my party, huh? Let's take a look around real quick. The grounds. It's the side of the tower. Yay. Tower's repaired and the walls are all repaired. I don't know, you know, the warden's hut there, and so I guess next up we'll start working on the like grounds, but a lot of the Bright Hollow has been repaired because it gets you better rest stats. Okay. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about crafting, but I don't know how much. Oh, plenty. Yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now. Let's just run upstairs. Perception, stealth, or survival. Perception. Okay.
You must gather your...
That's a neat looking place. I do want to go back in and explore the dungeon sometime soon. Down here. The massive hand of the statue. So cool. Alright. That's a pretty good place to save it. Thank you everybody for watching, and if you're not following me currently, please follow. You know, I'm going to be streaming most nights. And once again, you know, hey, thanks for spending the evening with me, and you guys take care.